Abba-dabby dude! Hi there, this is Abba-dabby dude! Welcome back. And when I started the car up today, the car told me it's update time. So, rather than install the update there and then, I cancelled the pop-up message. We'll go through the update again. I'll rush through the update process because I'm sure you've seen that before by now. If not, check out some of my previous update videos for more of a step-by-step guide. But as you see, if we go into the settings menu here, and then activate, go to the all settings and then software update, and you can see that we are told that there's an update available. So I will select to install that. That's going to download for a few minutes. And while it's downloading, we'll go through my notes here of what's contained within it. This is an infotainment update. It's version S20C _ 20.43.1-61886. Catchy, eh? Right, so what is contained in this release, I hear you ask? Well, there's a few things. There's nothing massive, I'll be honest with you. We've got the cameras. It now remembers your camera settings across ignition cycles, which is nice because it does kind of default to its standard camera settings, and I like to do the split front screen as my standard because pulling out at tight junctions with hedges or walls or whatever, that allows you to kind of look around the corner and see what's coming. So I like to have that so that just with a quick button press, that's the screen that will come up. However, it doesn't remember your settings, or it never used to remember your settings, and it would change to the default setting every time. But now it supposedly remembers across ignition cycles, so that's good. The eco data screen, minor thing which I must admit I hadn't really noticed before, but the eco data journey duration now shows the value from the start of the journey, not from the start of the eco data session. Now what that means is, I would guess that most of you have noticed this, but when you start driving your I-Pace, you don't get eco data, consumption, etc., until you've travelled 1 kilometre, about 0.6 of a mile. And then the eco data populates itself with a kilowatt hours per 100 miles or whatever you've got it set up for, distance travelled and journey duration. Well, apparently it used to start the journey duration at 0 minutes 0 seconds from when you've travelled 1 kilometre, 0.6 of a mile. So for example, I don't know, let's say you travelled 0.3 of a mile, got stuck at terrible roadworks for 5 minutes, and then travelled another 0.3 of a mile. You've actually done, let's say, 30 seconds to do 0.3 of a mile. I'm making numbers up. 5 minutes stopped, 30 seconds. So you've been travelling for 6 minutes, but apparently it used to set the 0 figure from when you'd done that first kilometre, so it would show that you'd been travelling for 0 minutes. Anyway, minor thing, but it might bother some people. And it's fixed now, which is nice. On the goodbye screen, it now comes up with the timed charging text all the time. So that means that now when you switch the car off, that timed charging display pops up all the time on the centre touchscreen, basically showing that the time charging is switched off. If you haven't enabled it, there's no departure time set, etc. Phone, the date format matches the settings on the user's phone. Again, I use Apple CarPlay for the phone connection, so I've not actually noticed that, but I presume if you've got an American format phone and a British format touchscreen, for some reason it would have used the British format touchscreen date format, where now it uses the one that's on your phone. I've never seen it, but I'm kind of guessing that's what it's referring to. Now with connected media, so if you bung a USB card in your media slot in the center console, it will now start playing straight away at startup, and that's good. Now I have noticed that actually in the past, even on Apple CarPlay, with my phone plugged in, it sometimes takes a minute, or used to take a minute, to actually start playing the music from my phone, but hopefully not anymore. I haven't had a chance to test that yet, obviously, but that's what they say. Improved stability of the climate screen. Okay, I've not seen any instability in the climate screen, but apparently it's improved. Eco data units will now match the cluster units. Again, I haven't seen that, but I guess it was possible to have the eco data in the center display, the touchscreen display, on a different setting to the ones in the instrument panel display behind the steering wheel. I guess. Haven't seen it, as I say. But what else have we got? This one I don't understand. I think Gary said he's seen that, but I've never seen it. On my electric vehicle, the save and charge buttons are no longer disappearing in the energy screen of my electric my electric vehicle. Haven't seen that, but there you go. It's fixed, apparently. A bunch of stuff not relevant to the I-Pace. And then we've got the issue of the radio not playing audio for an ignition cycle has been fixed. I have seen that. I think I've only seen it once. I don't use the radio very much, in fairness. I usually stream music from my phone, but I have actually seen that happen once. So that's supposedly fixed. Now, this is an interesting one. It's a subtle thing, but on the software over-the-air updates, what most people didn't realise is that there's two components that are being updated on an infotainment update. There's the infotainment master controller and the infotainment slave controller. Now, previously, it just updated it all together, and if something went wrong and it only updated the infotainment master controller, there was no way of updating the slave controller, because it wouldn't check. It would just see that it updated to the latest version. So you would have to wait for the next update to be able to update both. But now, both can be updated independently. The master and slave controller can be updated independently. So even if one of them is at the latest level, it can still update the other one. Also fixed is the Tcu updates. Now, I've yet to have one of those, but quite a few people are reporting that they're starting to roll out now, and quite a few people have had them, Gary included, on the I-Pace Owners channel. Now, as I say, I haven't had it, but one of the things this fixes, and I know Gary had this when he initially tried to install it, that the progress pop-up screen stuck on his screen, and he thought it hadn't updated, and he was stuck there for ages waiting for it to update so he could turn the car off. In the end, he just gave up, and then it restarted the whole process from the beginning. But now that pop-up will clear itself, supposedly, so you don't get stuck in that cycle. I say it would clear itself eventually anyway, but it was very confusing to be stuck with that pop-up on your screen for a long time. I think Gary had it for hours, but certainly a long time. Again, they've got improved stability of the lower touchscreen. Haven't seen that. It's always been pretty stable for me. And time issues with the clock and the touchscreen have now been corrected. Few people have seen that. Again, I haven't seen it on mine, but it's fixed. And what else we got? Preferred charging period. Well, I've switched that off in mine, admittedly, because I just use the charging timer now on my actual charger. But if you're using the preferred charging period, it would occasionally switch itself on. When you had switched it off, it would just switch itself back on randomly. It stopped doing that, apparently. And some improvements to USB device detection. No mention of the sat-nav login, but we'll see. Now, if you look, you can see it's downloaded on my system, and it's now installing. So it's installing. It'll take a few minutes to install, and then I'll have to switch the car off and back on, and complete the cycle. So I'll let it finish that off and come back to you in a sec. So there you go, it's installed. I've recycled the car, switch it back on, and fingers crossed. Alright, there we go. So let's just double check the version number. Flip through settings, and it's all settings. Software update, and there you go. You can see the version number there, ties in with what I said. Let's just, for peace of mind, check and see if there's a telematics update available yet. So I'll go down to that, check for updates, and straight away comes back with no. Computer says no. So there you go. So let me know how you get on, if you've installed it in your car. Are you still waiting for it? Have you had it installed? Have you found anything that I haven't mentioned? The one thing that I don't believe they've fixed yet is the Nav Login Bug, where it asks for your password every time you start the car up. If you want to use the connected account features of the SatNav, you can just use it as a basic SatNav. But if you want to sync routes with the Jaguar app on your phone and that kind of stuff, it needs to be logged in. And it asks for your password every time. It'd be nice if they fixed that this time, but since I haven't heard even a whisper of that from Jaguar, there's no mention of it in the release notes, and they don't even mention SatNav at all in the release notes for this version. I have to assume that they haven't addressed that. But we'll find out over the next few days to a week. I'll find out whether or not it's keeping the car logged in now. But as I say, I've got no reason to believe that they've fixed that particular glitch with this version of the infotainment software. So let me know if you've found anything else. Let me know if your SatNav is staying logged on. As I say, I haven't obviously had time to check that yet. If you found anything that wasn't in the release notes that I haven't mentioned, do share it with me. Let me know. And if you've enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. That's always hugely helpful for the channel. And if you're enjoying my content in general, don't forget to subscribe. That's also hugely beneficial. Anything you want to say, leave a comment down below and I will respond to pretty much all of them. If you do want to subscribe, I should say you can do that right now by clicking my ugly little face over there. And don't forget to please check out some of my other videos like this one up here. Till next time, this is Abu Dhabi Dude saying so long, take care, see you soon. Bye. Abu Dhabi Dude.